Hey everyone, you already know what this video is about as you all have seen in the title. So yeah, let's get started. First up, charAt. So the charAt method returns a character at a specific index in a string. Let's understand that with an example. Over here I have a string poking the code, and over here on that particular str variable that I've assigned the string to, I'm using charAt. Now we pass an index in this. As you all can see on your screen, strings in JavaScript have indices starting from 0. Okay, so if I want the first character, I will have to type in 0, and as you all can see in the console, we get the character. Similarly, one more thing that you'll need to remember is spaces are considered 2. So over here, space is at the 7th character. So as you can see, even that is counted. Next up is indexOf. This tells us the position of a character or a substring inside a string. If not found, it will always return -1. Let's understand that with an example. Over here, I have the same string. And now what I'll do is I have str.indexOf. Now keep in mind one particular thing. You can pass either a single character or you can pass the entire word or substring, doesn't matter. But one thing to keep in mind is it will always return the first occurrence. Okay, so over here I have two O's, but the one at index 1 is only returned, the second one is ignored. Okay, now likewise you all can even enter the entire word and it will give you the starting index of the word. Okay, so T is at index 8 if you count, and hence we get 8 over here in the console. And of course, if there is a particular substring that is not there at all, for example X, it will just return -1. Next up, we have split. Split is super handy. It basically converts a string into an array. Extremely useful. So let's understand that with an example. So over here, I've done str.split, and within this method, I can specify a separating character. Okay. So over here, let's say I've added blank space. Okay. So as you all can see, wherever there were blank spaces in the source string, which is over here, before the and after the, I have formed individual elements with that as the separator. So hence I get 3 elements poking the code as 3 different elements. Now you can specify anything at all. What if I wanted to specify something like this as a separator? This would still work. Okay, so as you all can see, now I get 2 elements because I have given the space as a separator. So it will ignore that particular thing and the other things will form an element in an array. Next up, we have includes. Includes checks if a string contains a specific value and returns either true or false. So over here, as you can see, we have str.includes. Now within this, you all can either add a single character or a bunch of characters, doesn't matter. So over here, let's say I added the, okay, so it is giving true because it is actually present in the string. And now if I, let's say, enter, just a second, let me increase this. Let's say if we enter something that isn't there, let's say JavaScript. JavaScript isn't there in the string, right? So it's giving false. Similarly, if you enter X, okay, so it doesn't matter, you can enter any kind of substring. If it is there, it will return true, else it will return false. This works even for blank spaces. Okay, so as you can see, there is a blank space over here and hence we are getting true. Now let's move to replace and replace all. As the name suggests, we replace something with something else. Let's understand that with an example. So over here I have done str.replace. So the very first parameter that you specify is what you want to replace. Okay, so let's say I want to replace the spaces, and the second parameter is what do you want to replace it with. Let's say I want to replace the spaces with commas, so I'll add commas over here. And as you all can see, the output, it is cooking comma the space code. And as you all can see, this is the problem that replace has. It only replaces at the first occurrence. If you want to replace all the occurrences, you guessed it, we just make this replace as replace all and we'll get the output. Okay, so replace is used when you want to replace just at the first occurrence, and replace all is when you want to replace all the occurrences. Next up, we have slice. Extremely useful again. Okay, it extracts a part of a string based on the start and the end indices. Okay, so let's understand that with an example. So I'll just add slice over here. Okay, now keep in mind, slice takes a bunch of arguments. What they are, I'll show you. So as you can see, the very first thing is if you don't add, it just takes the entire string. Okay, but the 2 arguments are the start index and the end index. So strings start from 0 and the second one is the end index. Let's say I added 4. Okay, now remember the end index is excluded and hence we get only till index 3. Okay, so 0, 1, 2 and 3, we get only till index 3. Okay, remember if you want till index 4, then you will have to write index 5. Okay, so remember the end index is always excluded. Okay, now similarly, if you want to start from the back, okay, let's say you don't want to start from here, okay, you can even use negative indices. Okay, so let's say you want 4 characters but from the right side. Okay, so what if you want this code? So you'll simply write -4 over here and that should give you a result. Next up is substring. Okay, now substring, remember it is extremely similar to slice. Okay, the only difference is, as you all could see, right, it does not accept negative values. But if you want the same substring like it was in slice, like let's say I wanted 0 to 4, okay, it will work just as fine. So just think of it this way: substring is the same as slice. The only difference is that it does not accept any negative values, as we saw. Okay. Next is also something that you will very commonly use, toUpperCase, as the name suggests, to convert your string to uppercase. And similarly, if you want to convert it to lowercase, you guessed it, you'll use toLowerCase. Next up, we have startsWith and endsWith. Okay, so as the name suggests, right, you can use startsWith when you want to check whether a string begins with a particular substring or a specific character or not. Okay, so let us understand that with an example. If you do str.starts with capital C, it should return true, as you all can see. Keep in mind, if you enter C in lowercase, it will return false. Okay. Similarly, ends with is the same. Does this end with a small? Does this particular string end with a small c? It doesn't, so it will return false. If you enter E or even DE or ODE, all of these will return true. Okay. Lastly, we have another important method, which is padStart and padEnd. Let us understand that with an example. So over here, I have taken a different example. Why you all will understand. So I've just created a string with the value 45 in it, and now I'll do padStart. Okay, val.padStart. Okay, so over here it takes two arguments. The very first thing is your maximum length of the string. Okay, so let's say I want my final value to be a 4, and next you all can specify what characters you want to pad it with. Pad it with would mean how let's say over here, right, I have 4. Now what if I wanted to add some additional characters before it, right? So and I want the character length to be 4. Okay, so in that case I can specify, let's say 0, for example. So this will become 004, as in whatever character you specify. Let's say you specify R, it will be RR45. Okay, whatever. Similarly, if you try to do padEnd, okay, it will do the same thing but from the other end. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more. Drop a like if you found this video helpful. Do take a look at my JavaScript interview playlist as well as some of the other videos that I've created on my channel. Have a great day from Cooking the Code. See you.